This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by Mike Coppinger here in the not so immediate aftermath now, but after we've just witnessed Devin Haney retain his undisputed crown at 135 pounds with his victory against Lomachenko. Mike, just your immediate thoughts on the fight. What did you make of it?
Thought it was an excellent fight, fought at a high pace, highest level of the sport, and both guys really brought it. I thought really there were no losers. Devin Haney proved that he's everything he's always said he was. He boxed a great fight, did great body work. And Lomachenko, everyone was writing him off after that lackluster performance against Jermaine Ortiz. He delivered in a big way and showed he's still one of the best fighters in the world. And I think it's the kind of fight that calls for a rematch, but I don't think we're going to get it.
I saw on social media that you had Devin winning the fight, Mike. With that in mind, obviously we saw the reaction from the crowd after the winner was announced. So was it close to you? Was it relatively comfortable for you to score to Devin?
I thought it was a pretty clear but close victory for Devin Haney. For me, I certainly would have no issue with Vasily-Lomachenko winning 115-113. I had a 115-113 for Devin Haney, so I think the range there was probably 115-113 either way or a draw. But for me, Devin Haney did excellent body work. I find out most fans don't really score body shots, but they're just as effective as, sometimes even more effective than shots to the head. And Lomachenko's, his whole left flank was red by like round 5. Haney was digging in those body shots every time Lomachenko did anything effective, and I think it really slowed Lomachenko down and won Haney in the fight.
Do you feel like that was effective from what you're saying, man? That was the difference, the work to the body, which edged the fight for Devin?
Absolutely. I think Devin Haney, he said afterward that he studied Lomachenko and noticed that Lomachenko doesn't really like body shots, but then again, who does? And I think it was a great game plan that he executed, because Lomachenko would come in with his flashy combinations, and he did buckle Haney a couple of times, but Haney was always there to dig that right hand to the body, and he really sat down on these punches too. These were stinging body shots, stopped Lomachenko right in his tracks, and it just seemed like Lomachenko, through the early and middle rounds was landing one punch at a time before he really came on in rounds 9, 10, and 11.
Throughout the week, both Devin and Vasily, before obviously what had happened, were quite coy as to where their future would go. Devin now being a free agent, he's mentioned there's only 2 fights to stick at 135 for Tank or Shakur. Have you heard anything if either of those fights are in play at all?
I haven't heard any of that right now. I think it's too soon to say. The fight just ended. I think a natural fight for Devin Haney would be the winner of the June 10th 140-pound title fight between Josh Taylor and Teofimo Lopez. I would love to see that. If Devin Haney's going to stay at 135, I think the fight is obviously Shakur Stevenson. I don't know if Shakur Stevenson did himself any favors saying that Haney lost the fight. I'm not sure Haney's going to be begging to give him a shot now after that, but maybe not. But I think probably the biggest fight you can make at lightweight is obviously Devin Haney and Gervonta Davis.
Just a couple of things away from this one to get your thoughts on. The Saudi Arabia boxing bonanza at the end of the year, Mike. Will everybody be making the trip out there? Are you confident that one's going to happen?
I think there's definitely progress being made from what I was told, and I think they're all on board, but maybe Tyson Fury is going to be the hardest one, of course, to close. We all know that. Tyson Fury, was offered a whole lot of money to fight Usyk in Saudi Arabia the first time, turned it down, found out there was less money in the UK, and now he's looking for an opponent in the summer. Saudis are pretty determined, and they have the money to do it. I hope we get it. That would be pretty awesome to have those 2 big fights on one night. Never seen anything like that.
Do you think Fury will get a fight in the summer? Obviously, it's been a big talking point. He said he wanted to be active this year, and there's a very good chance. If, say, Saudi falls through, he doesn't fight at all in 2023.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if Tyson Fury didn't fight at all in 2023. And he definitely wants to fight this summer, but he's going to have to find somebody that he can make a lot of money against. I don't think he wants to do another Derek Chisora type fight. And the issue is that who's really available. Andy Ruiz, I think, makes the most sense, especially with who's viable right now. But as Tyson Fury said, he asked for $20 million.
So do you know if that was true, or was that from what you've heard?
All I was told before that was that Andy Ruiz asked for a crazy amount of money. So that's kind of on track with what I was told. I wasn't told the exact amount. But Tyson Fury is also a guy that's asked for crazy amounts of money too. So this is heavyweight boxing after all.
And you did just mention Zhang before I briefly interrupted you there. We know from Joe Joyce's behalf he's invoked that rematch clause. Is there any way around that to make a potential Fury-Zhang fight?
Yeah, there's always a way around it with money, right? If Joyce wants to take step-aside money, he can, but it's going to be up to him. And I think he would if the money's right. But I don't think the money's going to be right unless you're talking about a big money fight with somebody like Usyk, right, or Joshua. Not if we're talking about a fight against Andy Ruiz. I don't think that's, step-aside money there.
Just final one, sticking with the UK. Liam Smith and Chris Eubank Jr. their rematch. We saw it kind of kicked off between Conor Benn and Carl Brooks today at the Matchroom show, and in the immediate aftermath, a few interviews that Conor did, he said that he spoke to Liam and he's not sure whether or not he'll be fit for their July 1st date. Have you heard anything on that note?
I have not heard anything on that, but it's not really a fight that I think is totally on the radar here in the U.S. You know, Liam Smith did a pretty good job on Eubank last time. I don't see why it should be any different the next time around, but we'll see what happens.
One thing which I know you would have heard about is Spence-Crawford. Will we be seeing that in July?
I think we will be seeing it. I really do. I mean, I've said this before, though. I'm not going to feel like it's done until it's actually signed, but I don't think there's any real obstacles right now or stumbling blocks.
Final one on it all. I did an interview with Sean Porter yesterday. Sean said that he thinks that if we do see it, it'll be for without the titles on the line up at 154. Do you think that's a potential outcome of it all?
I mean, anything's possible. I don't really care if the titles are on the line or not, but I would certainly want to see the fight at 147. That's where both of these guys have proven that they're the two best. At 154, it's a little bit less attractive, but as long as we see the fight, I'll be happy.
Right, Mike, it's getting late now. I'm sure you've got other things to do and you'd rather go sort them out than speak to me. But it's a pleasure to see you. Thank you as always, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Appreciate it.